Hello, welcome in. Thank you. I'm so grateful for you being here, tuning in to Live as Her. And today I am doing a video that is kind of get to know me and just answering a few questions that I've gotten messages on about me and some other, um, like commonly asked questions and things like that, just so that you get to know me as a person a little bit more. I know I've posted some videos and I've talked about some personal things, but this is just a little bit more of a fun format. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I've got the questions in here and I'll just pull them out and I will share with you guys. So here we go. All right, first question is coffee, tea, or something else? This one is pretty easy, definitely tea. I don't think there is a day that goes by that I don't drink tea. It is an everyday thing for me. I drink herbal tea in the morning and I like to drink other teas throughout the day and even certain teas with my meditation practice or for sleep. I make teas for my partner, for my kids. I am a tea person. That's not to say I don't like coffee because I will have a coffee every now and then, but that is few and far between, maybe a couple times a month. I do sometimes like to do a dirty chai, which does have coffee in it, but never really like a cup of black coffee. Actually, yeah, never a cup of black coffee. My partner does like black coffee, so occasionally I might have a sip of his, or yeah, not really coffee, but I enjoy a nice coffee every now and then. Nice coffee. I also like iced coffee, so I would say yeah, I would do an iced coffee, but again, um, I can't even remember the last time I had an iced coffee, so definitely tea for that one. If you could live anywhere in the world for a year, where would it be? That one is so difficult because since childhood, it has been on my heart to travel. I actually planned to travel after high school, and things just didn't go that way. But it's still on my heart, something that I really strongly desire to do. So if I could live somewhere for a year, I would say somewhere in South America, maybe like Peru or somewhere in that region. But Peru is where I had been planning to go when I got out of high school, and I would love to still be able to do that. Or somewhere in like South Asia, or even like Japan, maybe. But I would say those two are definitely on my list, and I would not hesitate if given the opportunity to live there. So, yeah. What is one thing I wish I knew when I started my spiritual journey? When I started my spiritual journey, well, if you have seen my other videos, I have talked about having spiritual experiences since I was a child. But as an adult and actually having an intentional spiritual practice, I would say I wish I knew that it didn't have to be perfect. I didn't have to sit and meditate for 30 minutes. or I didn't have to have some profound revelation every time I meditate. I in my early meditation days, I did have um, some very, very strong visualizations, realizations, messages, things like that. And so I think I put a lot of pressure on myself to maintain that and have that experience most of the time. And while I would like to have those experiences more often than not, it is not, that's not really a realistic expectation. And like I said, I think I put a lot of pressure on myself to have that happen every time. And when it didn't, it felt like my meditation failed. And now I know that that's just not the case. What song or playlist is your current vibe? Hmm. Well, I am really vibing with Aniko right now. A lot of her songs. And what I usually do in the app that I use is I will go to her station and then I will click on the like play artist radio option to get other similar songs and things. Um, I've always been a music person. I enjoy all different types of music. I've played instruments, which I would like to get back into doing. Um, yeah, so I would say, it's not like that's what I listen to exclusively right now, but I'm really vibing with her and that genre right now. So I would say Aniko. That's Iniko if you haven't heard of her. What is your zodiac sign and do you feel it fits you? My sun sign is Capricorn and my moon sign is Pisces. And I absolutely feel that both of those fit me in the way that the sun sign and the moon sign are supposed to. So, yes. What is one spiritual lesson that has changed your life the most? A spiritual lesson that has changed my life the most. I would say everyone is here for a purpose, and it is not my purpose to please everyone. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Maybe I'll go into that in another video a little bit further, but yeah, I would say that is one of the biggest lessons that I have learned. And had I learned that lesson sooner, I probably would have made a lot of different choices in my life up to this point. What does your perfect self-care day look like? Self-care day? Like a whole entire day? Okay. Well, I have kids and I had my first kid pretty young and I work a full-time corporate job. So I don't I don't think I've ever had a whole day dedicated to self-care. But if I did, that would be amazing. Um I would do a lot of things that I already do, but I spread them out throughout the month. I probably okay. So two things I would absolutely do without a doubt. The very first things I probably would schedule that I don't currently do on a regular basis, but I wish I could, is a massage and a Reiki session. But other than that, for self care, I would, of course, take an everything shower. Um, do like a nice hot oil treatment on my hair and really like maybe do dry brushing on my skin and then have a nice exfoliating um, scrub in the shower, shave my legs, wax if I needed to. I shave my legs and I wax everything else, or the hair just grows. So I would do that if it needed to be done. Maybe whiten my teeth. Maybe take a nap. Go for a walk. I probably would fast the day before and then do a really intentional meditation in the morning and maybe even a second meditation in the afternoon at some point. And then have a wholesome, delicious, nourishing meal in the afternoon and evening. And then just have time to relax in the evening without interruption. Just maybe watch a movie or a show or read my book or something. To finish out the day. I think that would be my perfect personal care day if I had an entire day dedicated to self care. Yeah. How do you keep balance when life feels overwhelming? This is a good one. What I do now is I breathe. I take intentional breaths. Breath work has been something I've been doing for years, and it has been very helpful in balancing a chaotic life. Especially in the times when things get a little bit overwhelming or I'm feeling anxious or frustrated about something that's happened. So I would say breathing, meditating, and having the ability to step away. And I know that that is a luxury, especially for some people in certain situations. You just can't necessarily step away depending on the type of work you do, if you have children, if you're a single parent maybe. But that is what I do, is I try to step away into a quiet space. So maybe my kids are in the living room and I will go into my bedroom, or sometimes I'll go into my daughter's room and sit in like the rocking chair and just breathe and come back out after a few minutes after I've like gathered myself. And the other thing that I do when life in general seems overwhelming, like not necessarily a certain moment or, just things going a little chaotic in a given day, but how sometimes in life you just maybe have like a week or a month or months that just feel like you're like go, 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 go. What I do is meditate or try to get around my friends and do things that just kind of pour into me. I'll drink tea that is calming and nourishing and set intentions around any of my practices to bring myself back into the moment and just remind myself that everything happens for a reason, and I am being tested, and that on the other side of it, I'll be stronger and I will have learned some valuable lessons along the way. And I would say this year, 2025, I have definitely had some tests, financially, um, you know, with friendships, just with my kids, like in general. I have had some things that I'm like, whoa, now in the second half of the year, looking back, it's like I learned some very valuable lessons and I will not soon forget them. So just being able to appreciate what's going on and knowing that I'll get out of it. Okay. I do want to say I did not read through all these questions. Um, I saw some of them, but I did not like take the time to think through my answers. I just kind of, like skimmed over a few, and then the rest I have not seen. So sorry if I get a little long-winded on some of the answers. What is one random talent or fun fact that most people don't know about me? Hmm. Well, I probably have several, to be honest, but um I would say one fun fact is that I really enjoy baking. And at one point in my early 20s, um I thought about, kind of taking that to the next level and doing it for profit. But I opted not to after taking some orders from friends and realizing that sometimes that sucks the fun out of stuff. I wasn't enjoying it, and there was a lot of pressure, and people want things a very particular way, and I just like the ability to be creative and in the end come out with something delicious and beautiful and to share that with the people I love. In my home, my kids love it, my partner loves it, um, and yeah, I have fun with it. And if I had more free time, that is something I would incorporate more. Is just doing some creative, fun baking and even cooking. I do enjoy cooking too, but definitely baking. One of my first jobs as a teenager was in a little mom and pop bakery, and I think that kind of just sparked it for me. And I learned the recipes and got to really stretch my creative rubber band there. And yeah, so fun fact is I enjoy baking and creating beautiful, fun things for myself and my loved ones, friends, neighbors to eat. What is your guilty pleasure TV show or snack? Hmm. Well, I feel like it's a little bit of a loaded question because in my spiritual practice, I don't feel like indulging every once in a while in things like that. I don't feel that we should feel guilt about that. Now, if you're getting to a point where it's something that you're doing day in and day out, and other things are falling to the wayside, other important things that should be priorities, then I could say maybe, it would be a guilty pleasure. But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy like sci-fi and like Harry Potter, Marvel. Right now, my partner and I are watching. I always want to call it Alfred, but Pennyworth. Yeah, we're watching Pennyworth, which is like the story of Batman's butler. And yeah, for snacks, I don't know. I like today I had a one of those little snack bags of salt and vinegar chips. I like those. I like the garden salsa sun chips. But yeah, I don't really feel guilty about those. So I don't know. I might have to come back to that one in another video or something. We'll see. If time and money were no obstacle, what would you be doing? I love this question. Um, Again, with my focus on spiritual practice and personal growth and all things of that nature, I can say that I've thought of this before. So, if time and money were no obstacle, meaning I would not be working my corporate job, while I don't mind my corporate job, I strongly, strongly desire to get out of that world, get out of that matrix in general. Um, so what I would really find joy in is doing the little things. Okay, um, I really like to make little gifts and things that are very personal. I find a lot of pleasure in giving a personalized, sentimental gift and also just spending time. So I think what I would do is I would travel, and when I am home, I would put a lot of time into my kids' activities and school. And I would also spend a lot of time um, with, I don't want to call it donating my time, but I would love to be able to be that for my friends, like where maybe if one of my friends who has a few kids, if they need some help or if they just need a pick me up, I would love to be that person who, just makes her rounds and takes everybody little treats and offers time to help, organize the garage or run some errands for you or something like that. Just out of pure love, because if money was not an obstacle, I wouldn't, I wouldn't be exchanging time for money, and therefore, um, yeah. That's what I would do. I think is I would travel a lot, and then I would spend a lot of my time pouring into those around me. How did you first start your spiritual journey? Again, I don't feel like there was really a starting point. I think I always had a lot of um, little nudges throughout my life, even as a child. And I went through kind of a rebellion phase in my teenage years. And I would say that ended in my early 20s. And then that is when I made the transition to really bring mindfulness into my day to day activities and my encounters with people. And just, that kind of a thing. So I already put it back in there. What was the question? When did it start? I guess I would say 10 years ago, maybe. I'm in my early 30s now, so all right. What do you want to learn with your audience this year? I would say over the next year, I would like to learn I would say over the next year, I would like to learn how to stretch my rubber band and open myself up to more abundance. Yeah. What is your go-to herbal tea or blend? My go-to? I don't know. I have teas for different things, but every morning I like to start out with an herbal tea. That did specify herbal. So, yeah, I like to start with dandelion root tea. Actually, right now I'm doing dandelion root and leaf tea. Um, Sometimes I just do a fruit tea, like peach tea, not like black tea with peach flavoring, but just pure peach or raspberry. I do like those. and I'll just put like a green tea in with it occasionally. These aren't really herbal, but I really enjoy chai, and I do also enjoy matcha. As popular as those have gotten over the years, I have enjoyed them for many years. Actually, what I have here is a matcha, but it's not like your typical matcha. It is more of a blend that I do at home. My partner and I, we try to stay away from chains like Starbucks. I really, really dislike their matcha. And yeah, so at home, I prefer to make it. If we visit like a local shop, in our city, we do have a lot of little local coffee shops and things around. So we do, on occasion, like to go out and try a new one. But we both prefer the version that I make at home. So I do a ceremonial grade matcha, and then I also will put in there other herbs like moringa and maca, and I like to put in some tinctures, and um, liquid herbs like holy basil and chlorophyll. That's what's in this one. In this one, I also have some mullein, which is good for your respiratory system. So, yeah, and then I just put some oat milk and top it off with some sweet cream, and it is just chef's kiss. I probably have this 3, maybe 4 times a week from home. Yeah. I think we're almost to the end. What is the most you thing in your purse or bag right now? Hold, please. Okay, I've got my bag here, and I usually have a crystal. Yes. So, this would be the most me thing right now is this moonstone, black moonstone, palm stone. So, yeah. I usually have more than one, to be honest. I have some in my car. I keep some near my desk. I have a whole bunch behind me on my with my plants there in my room, my kids' rooms. We're a crystal home, honey. We have a lot of crystals here. What is the best piece of advice you've ever received? Well, I got a great piece of advice from one of my old bosses, and she gave it to me without giving it to me. She gave it to me intentionally, but not, like, here's some good advice for you. But she asked me what I would do if I wasn't afraid. And that really stuck with me. And I feel like I have carried that into many aspects of my life, in my career, as well as at home, and with relationships and hobbies and all kinds of stuff. Even with this here, what would I do if I was not afraid? So that kind of challenges me to think of what I'm afraid of and what's stopping me. And then if those were not in the way, what would I do? How would I handle it? What would I say? All those things. So I'd say that one. And then the other one would be one that came later, which was stop dimming your light. I wish I would have received that advice and the wisdom behind it way sooner. As like a teenager or even a young child. Just stop dimming your light. Stop trying to fit in. Stop trying to make everybody around you comfortable and bringing yourself down or pretending to like things that you don't like to fit in. Yeah, that's what I would say is what would I do if I wasn't afraid? And stop dimming my light. What is your favorite crystal right now and why? I'm going to say this one. That's probably why it's in my purse. Just because of the energy that I get from it when I'm holding it. Sometimes I'll pull it out, like when I'm at my desk at work or in the car. I'll pull it out and have it in my palm or in my lap. I can, like I can feel it now as I hold it in my hand, and it just feels like good energy. Like, yeah, I don't know how to describe it without getting a little bit woo woo, but yeah, I would say this Black Moonstone is my favorite right now. I've had it for quite a while, probably a couple years at least. And I go through phases with it, like sometimes it'll end up on my nightstand or on my dresser or on this display behind me. But yeah, for the past couple months, it's been in my purse and with me almost all the time. So that one. I also have a piece of malachite that same thing. Like it just feels good to have it with me. It feels protecting and reassuring almost. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, those two. Oh, I think this is the last one. Do you prefer yoga in the morning or evening? Both. Can I say both? In the morning, I would say my practice is more stretching and just waking up my body and mindfulness. But in the evening, it's a true flow. Right now, what I've been doing is a chakra chakra balancing flow, and I have really been enjoying that. So I guess if I had to pick morning or evening, I'd say evening, but I enjoy both. So. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. If you stayed all the way to the end, I appreciate you. Again, so grateful to be able to connect with you in this way. And if you have other questions that you'd like me to answer, please put them in the comments. This was fun. I'd love to make another video like this, maybe, 3, 6, 12 months from now. Hopefully we have a bigger audience here and maybe more people who, would like to get to know me and have questions that I didn't touch on here. So thank you again, and I'll leave you at that. Peace.